Good morning. Good morning. You are tuned in to an all new episode of Enjoy Your Life, the podcast. I am your host, Farrah LaRae Wynn, and today we are going to be talking on keeping your eyes on the prize. Now, we know for the month of October, we are talking about self-awareness and love. And so today that is our emphasis, keeping your eye on the prize, both naturally and spiritually. Now, I need to clarify something, not even really clarify it because we know where we are. But on last week's podcast, I said for the month of August, which we know we're not in anymore. So I hope that you'll forgive me. But we're going to get right into this. I promised last week that I would be interviewing a special guest for today. But some things got in the way and we were unable to do that. But that is okay because God does all things well. I really am a firm believer that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So anytime some plans are changed or something is delayed or something doesn't come through or, just anytime something changes and doesn't go according to our plans, I really believe that God has his hand on it. Don't always know the reason, but I definitely know that he has some kind of involvement. So whatever it is, Lord, let your will be done. All right. So we are going to talk about this, keeping your eye on the prize. So, I'll just talk a little bit about my life, because it is super duper busy. I do a lot more than, what I lead on like Instagram and Facebook and things like that. I'm always on the go. I'm always have something to do. I always have something else on my plate. And, I've noticed the difference in when I'm focused on my assignments and when I'm not. So when you're focused and when you're ambitious, that's first of all something to be admired. So don't feel bad if people are like, you're so busy and I can never see you. Don't worry about that, okay? Because you are doing what God has called you to do. For a long time, when I was younger, my life has always been pretty fast paced. I'll give you a little bit of background. So working with the church, working with my dad's company, which is a consulting agency. We provide like character education, life skills, personal development. So we sit down, we have seminars, we have workshops, we have courses that have been in different schools and in different systems and things like that. So, excuse me, we have that in addition to my personal business where I do like graphic design and flyers and brochures and business cards. We also have a streaming television network. So 24 hours online, you can go. It's actually winnetwork.com. So it's my last name, W-Y as in yellow, N-N, network.com. And there's 24 hours streaming on there. So not only do I work with the network, but I also have my own show on the network. I work with my family's production company. So music, films, television, all of that. So we do like filming, editing, producing, directing, all of that good stuff. I work with my dad. He has a movie that he wrote. So this is just a little bit, you guys, in addition to school, in addition to our international organization that I work with. There's a lot that I do, and I still find time to be a friend, to be a sister, to be a daughter, to be a good churchgoer, I guess, to be a good friend at church, things like that. So I have a lot on my plate, and there's been certain times in my life where people would say, oh, you're so busy. You're too busy for me. I can never call you. I can never see you, blah, 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 blah. And I realized it was okay because those people were not necessarily supposed to be in my life at that particular point in time. A lot of them still aren't in my life. There's some people who have come back into my life after time has gone by, just catching up with people. But I realized that when someone can't keep up with the pace of your life, they're not supposed to be in it. Does that make sense? And if they're supposed to be in it, maybe it's just not right now. So, transitioning from focusing on your career, or your education to ministry and then your relationship with God, it can become a lot. I know for a fact, sometimes when I feel like I'm too busy or I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I have so much schoolwork, or maybe I got behind in school a few days or something like that. And now I'm trying to play catch up, but I also know I have a leadership meeting coming up on Sunday morning at church and I got to make sure I'm ready for that. There's just so many different things. So shifting gears from, okay, I'm over here focusing on school. I'm over here focusing on church. I'm over here focusing on work. And I was going to say, there's a lot of other things I just realized that I do that I didn't mention, but it really does require focus. So I want to give some advice on some of the things that I've learned to do. I'm actually on my way to the gym after this conversation with you all because that's another part of my life. You know, I want to be healthy. I want to be in shape. I want to look good. I want to feel good. So what you have to do when it comes to keeping your eye on the prize, both naturally and spiritually, number one, you have to change your mindset. It can become easy to downplay yourself or belittle yourself or say, I don't have enough time, or I can't do this, or I'm not capable of, or I'm not good enough to. Get rid of that kind of mindset. You need to start thinking, you know what? If I manage my time, I can get all of these things done. Or start thinking, okay, if I have 10 different things I need to do, I'm going to take 1 or 2 things that I do each and every day. So I do 2 things on Monday, 2 things on Tuesday, 2 things on Wednesday, until you complete all of those tasks. Do not feel so overwhelmed that you can't think clearly on dividing up your responsibilities. If something isn't due until Sunday, you can get that done like Thursday or Friday, but don't be rushing to do it Monday when you have other things due Tuesday. Does that make any sense? So number one, change your mindset. The second thing is surround yourself with who you want to be. If you are too busy and there's people who say, oh, I can never keep up with you, or I can't, ever reach you or whatever, then you need to get away from them because they're not going your speed. You need to find other people. Go spend time at the bookstore or at the library, or if you're in college, go to the college in the library, or look for other like-minded people. And people say you can't just make friends. They just kind of happen. No, I seriously don't agree with that, because in the world of social media, you can literally look up a hashtag and find someone who does exactly what you do, connect with them. If you're a photographer, you use the hashtag photographer, and you will see how many people follow you just because of what you do. Now, these are people who are in the same area as you in life. They have the same career. They have the same passions. They have the same desires and the same dreams, except they have a different mindset on it. So now this is a person who does what you do, but you can pull from. This is something I said. I conducted a training this weekend in one of our seminars talking about social media, because that's one of the things I do. I specialize in consulting with my personal business, Elite Performance. And one of the things I said to those people is competition is your competition, but they're also your inspiration. So do not be intimidated that someone is a singer just like you, or they're a photographer just like you, or they're a blogger just like you, or they're a chef just like you. Whatever you do, you want to pull inspiration from these people. These people get you. They're going to the same place. Look at actors, actresses, and people in the music business. They're hanging out with each other. They understand the industry. They understand what it takes. They understand what you go through. They understand the process. So you want to connect with people who are going where you're going, or people who are going your same speed. Maybe you're a photographer and one of your friends is a model. That works too. Why? Because you still get each other to a certain extent. But number one, change your mindset. Number two, surround yourself with who you want to be. Get around like-minded people who have the same ambition and the same thought process as you. I hope that you're following with me, okay? So sometimes you can experience a time in your life where you want to give up, or maybe it seems like what you're focusing on is in vain. I really want to encourage you, do not give up. One of my biggest things right now, and I don't know why, is school. I love school. I love learning. I love expanding my mind. I will literally sit here and read a book or take time educating myself on something. But the moment it comes to doing schoolwork, I'm just like, bleh. And I don't know why. Like, I usually love school, like I'm on it. But lately, I just am not super duper into it. And I'm not really sure why. But guess what? I can't give up on it. I will literally sit here and push myself, tired, bored, whatever I'm feeling. And I'm like, listen, Farah, no one's going to do your schoolwork for you. You have to do this. So I sit there and I do it, and I push myself until I turn it in and I get it done. You cannot give up. You cannot get so tired, so irritated, so weary, so bored, so frustrated that you give up on what you're supposed to be focusing on. Okay. The other thing is, the advice I would give to someone who's struggling in their faith and their relationship with God, in terms of you're focusing on school and work and your business that you're trying to start up and your friendships and this and that, and you find that you lack time for God, you need to change that. Find an hour in the morning, not even an hour, start small. 5 minutes. Find 5 minutes in the morning, during your shower, before your shower, after your shower, 5 minutes in the night. A lot of people will say, find a prayer time in the morning or night, but I really encourage you to find a prayer time in the morning and in the night. If you can sneak away 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night before you go to bed to spend time with God, that is the most beautiful thing you can do. Number one, he's going to honor that. He's going to see that you're doing that. And then he's going to begin to bless you in your business, in your schooling, in your education. In your career, whatever it is that you're doing, in your relationships, he's going to begin to bless you because you're honoring him. Despite all of the things you have going on throughout the day, he's going to look and say, look, this girl is seeing after me. This girl is still acknowledging me in all of her ways. This girl is still spending time in her word. I'm going to bless her. Okay? So if you're struggling in finding time to spend with God, you need to find some, and fast, quick, and in a hurry. Because what's going to happen as you spend time with him, as you acknowledge him, as you take your problems to him, he's going to begin to lift the heavy load as how you feel like it's too much, or you can't do it, or you don't have the tools you need. He'll start to change your mindset through prayer. He'll start to change your mindset through his word. So find 5 or 10 minutes and watch. You'll see that time begin to increase. I started out, I'll say like 2 years ago is when I started my prayer journal. And I would only write like not even a full page, like half a page. Now my prayers can go on for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages. One day I was praying a few weeks ago, and I actually didn't even mean to pray. I was kind of just sitting on my bed, and then I just started praying. And before I knew it, I looked up and it had been 2.5 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, like I think this is the longest I've prayed like by myself, with the exception of like a shut-in or something. This is the longest I prayed by myself. But when you start to build that intimacy in God, you'll see that you'll go deeper, and then he'll begin to speak to you, and then he'll begin to reveal things to you, and you'll begin to see things differently. So number one, change your mindset. Number two, get around people who are going where you're going, people who do what you do, people who you want to be. Number three, change your focus to the things of God. If you find that you don't have prayer time, make time for God. And the last thing I want to say is this, because we're getting ready to close here. We're running out of time. But the best thing that you can do is take a step back. When you feel overwhelmed, after you've prayed, after you've worried about it, you've cried about it, you've talked about it, take a step back and evaluate. This is a number one way to keep your eye on the prize, both naturally and spiritually. Sometimes you need time for self-reflection. Sometimes you need time where you can just be alone. It's not always good to be surrounded by 1,001 people. Sometimes you need to take a step back, be by yourself, feed yourself through a book, or watch your favorite show, or create something, whatever it is. Sometimes you need to take a step back and spend time alone, because if you're like me, you're always feeding people, always encouraging someone, always preaching to someone, always praying with someone, always being there. Sometimes you need to be fed. So sometimes just relax, turn on your show, laugh, turn on a comedic special, laugh. Watch Jerry Seinfeld or something. Like, just do something where you can just enjoy you, and there's not a demand on you to be feeding other people, okay? And you'll start to see a change. So I hope that this helped. I hope you wrote something down. I hope that you will apply it to your life. This has been another episode of Enjoy Your Life, the podcast. I hope that you're subscribed to the blog. Use the link in the bio on our Instagram, Enjoy Your Life blog. Check the hashtag. Follow me, Farrah Larae Wynn. I love you so much, and God loves you so much more. Until next time, have a wonderful day.